Tony, first of all, thanks for joining us today. Super happy to have you.
Okay, my pleasure, man.
A couple things we know about you. You're a boxing coach here at Gregory Boxing. You're an MMA champion from before UFC was even around. You retired from MMA to pursue boxing, and you talk a lot of shit. And you were on pay-per-view, which you remind everybody every once in a while.
3 times.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Well, I went into the Marine Corps actually at 17. I graduated high school at 17. So was already signed up to join the Marine Corps. Never wanted to go to college. Was never in my cards. I just knew I wasn't going to waste my family's money and my time. So went to the Marine Corps and went into the infantry program and graduated boot camp. Went to School of Infantry, and then was in first Gulf War broke out. So I got to go overseas for 13 months. It was my first deployment.
Okay.
And then actually got in a lot of trouble in the Philippines. We stayed 9 months in the Philippines, and got into a lot of trouble back in the fighting a lot and drinking and partying and typical Marine. I was 18 years old at the time, so I thought that's what Marines do, which is what they do. But the top brass didn't like it. So not the first time I woke up in a Filipino jail, but the second time. I remember thinking, I gotta straighten myself out. I gotta straighten my life out. I was drinking a lot. I was overweight, and I was getting a lot of trouble. So they put me in 30 days on base restriction. And as I'm sitting there, I'll never forget, I'm sitting there with a buddy of mine, this guy Curtis Mack, who's from DC, and he came in from out of town. He was drunk, and he stayed up late at night just to talk to me because I was doing fire watch for all the guys. And we're on the side of this wall. It's like a jungle wall. And me and my BSing 1, 2 in the morning, just talking. And I hear these guys go, hey, we're coming out. We don't want to scare you. So I'm like, oh, man. So these guys come out and they look like death, just 4 or 5 guys. Been in the jungle for a month, it looks like. And I go to my buddy Curtis, who are those guys? And he goes, yeah, that's that sniper team, that sniper program. That's what that's all they do is just train. So I'm like, how do I get to join those guys?
Yeah.
We got a call to go to sniper school. They're the ones that send you to sniper school because it's really hard to get into the school, let alone graduate. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
So we get the call to go to sniper school, which is like the golden ticket. So ended up going to sniper school, and then when the smoke cleared, 9.5 weeks, graduated that. So that was it. I was a 20-year-old kid. I was a scout sniper and living the dream. Got to deploy, went to Somalia. Got to see some action there.
Yeah.
And, kind of just trained, eat, sleep, and trained for my last 2 years. Kind of went by pretty quick.
Okay. And
then I got out because you couldn't do it forever. That's the bad thing about the Marine Corps. I ended up getting a job at this bar called The Drink at the time, which everyone knows, The Drink nightclub, hottest place in the city at the time. Yeah. And Bo Medenica, who now, of course, is the instructor at the police academy.
Yep.
He was head of security there, and he also taught at CFC.
You guys had quite a crew that worked at The Drink.
Oh,
you guys had a pretty nice list of guys working security there.
Yeah, we did. Well, at first, believe it or not, it was just me and Bo.
Yeah.
And all the other guys were a bunch of monsters.
Yeah.
But they really didn't do much. That's why Bo was happy that I showed up.
Yeah.
Brainchild CFC, which is a whole story in itself, is the brainchild of Eddie Yoshimura, who was a sergeant in CPD forever, 30-something years. And his goal was to open up a gym that's just bad dudes, from weightlifting to bare knuckle, full knock contact karate, to just kickboxing, you name it. He was the original MMA, was CFC. Shidokan traditionally is a bare knuckle, full contact karate system. Eddie decided that's traditional Shidokan karate. But then Eddie decides, hey, a lot of his guys were already kickboxing. So he says, hey, why don't we, after a couple rounds, if nobody's getting knocked out, let's add kickboxing to the rules. So then it started off with kickboxing after the bare knuckle rounds. So then he decides, well, if you finish the kickboxing rounds, why don't we start doing grappling and change the gloves to 4-ounce little MMA gloves and start doing grappling.
Okay.
So the guy's like, cool. So that kind of was the brainchild of Eddie, where they turned into triathlon and martial arts, so every couple rounds. But then Shidokan Karate, of course, taught that in the curriculum. So we did do grappling, kickboxing, bare knuckle full contact. Kind of what MMA is today.
I'm going to throw a name at you, and you just tell me whatever you want to say about that. Okay, Kung Lee.
That was the bad dude.
Yeah.
He's a bad dude, yes. Tough dude. So Kung Lee and I were in the semifinal fight. I already won my first fight. I believe it was a first round knockout. And then I go to my semifinal fight, and they talk about, I didn't know much about him. Nobody really did. He's some guy from San Jose, California, does Shanshu, and at the time I'm like, whatever that is. I go to throw a knee, and he grabs me and does like a front souffle over his head. So he flips me over his head, effortlessly, by the way.
Yeah.
And I remember getting flipped, and I remember even now I realize in my mind, I go, oh, this is gonna be a war. Like I probably never recovered from that fight, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's my if you ever look at the Rocky movies, and you know how Rocky is after fighting Drago.
Yeah.
Like always been messed up. That's me.
Yeah.
Like he's my Drago.
And
like,
you ended up winning that fight, correct?
Yes, I won that fight, 5th round armbar. Had to fight Arnie Sobel after that, who was another world-class fighter. And going back to the locker room, though, I got carried out of that fight because I couldn't walk. Had a torn ACL, I find out. Broken fingers, cut on my face, completely busted up. And then I still had one more fight to go. So it wasn't a good night for me.
Yeah. And how did you do in the finals?
I won that one
Yeah.
also, but
Oh.
but I was losing. I was actually
Yeah.
losing the whole fight up
Yeah.
until the 7th round when he tried to take me down for some odd reason, and I put him in a rear naked choke. So,
Oh, wow.
but I was actually probably losing that fight if I was to guess. Started going to Hamlin Park, and then I was having a hard time boxing. Like boxing's hard.
Yeah.
Like real hard. So I wanted to fight in the K1. It was kind of my dream.
Okay.
Was to fight in the K1 tournaments. You know, even though those guys were way bigger than me, but I was going to try to figure something out. But I wanted to fight in the K1. So, yeah, I was going to box and then go back to do that. To me, boxing is the most difficult thing. And I've tried everything from judo to Muay Thai, karate. I've tried it all. And to me, boxing is the most difficult sport for me to grasp. My will to win was it's just always kind of been there. Like, boy, I made a conscious decision. If I was going to train the way I trained, and I sacrifice everything that I do, because I remember at the time I was working at People's Gas, so I had a career that I was pretty content with, you know, and I had a small little child at home, a daughter that I was taking care of, responsibilities, and I remember thinking, if I have to train the way I train and sacrifice so much, I might as well win. Get in the ring, man, you get mad respect from everybody, society, the whole world, great job, but when you win and you get in the ring, you kind of get a little bit more respect. A couple things I know for a fact is I always thought, I know I'm going to win the tournament. That's just my mentality. And I'm also going to go to the hospital. Win, lose, or draw, I'm going to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So I might as well win. That way I feel like it was kind of worth it. To me, respect for my peers is the most important thing. So, you know, kind of when you win, you're kind of like, you know, your peer group.
Yeah.
It's like, man, dude, this guy really busted his ass, dude. He really put it all out there. I do remember going into the round before I won, and I remember going in, and I remember, you know, Wayne was in my corner. I had a world-class corner. I had Wayne Gregory, Bo Medenica, Rafa Linares. I mean, you can't get no better than that. And these guys are patching me up, sending me out there. And these guys are just patching me. You can do it, man. You can win this thing, man. He goes, they're not saying I'm winning. At least they're not telling that. But, you know, you can do this, man. You can win this. So I remember, man, I went out there and I said, all right, I got to do it this round. If I do not win in this round, I'm not going to win. So sure enough, like literally 10 seconds into the fight, because I only had about 10 or 15 seconds left, I ended up pulling it off. So yeah, I won. If you think about it, I won that night. But in the grand scheme of things, I lost because I never fought at that level again. So it doesn't really aggravate me, it doesn't upset me. You know, I know that I'm not... I kind of know I was meant to be a world-class fighter, but my body's not meant to be a world-class fighter. You put your stuff in your bag. You know, you put your you know, your gloves, your headgear, this and that. Do you actually take your medical card with you? I do, because I know I'm going to use it. You guys kind of open your gym, and it's 10 minutes from my house. I live 10 minutes away. And then one day I'm on one of my bike rides, and I was just, man, I just don't want to be out here no more. I think I'm going to start boxing again, you know, just to do something different. I think a couple times you asked me to give a hand with like sparring or helping guys out or the young kids out. Hey, want to give a hand and work corners, this and that. And I was kind of in the back there with you. And I remember a couple times I think I told you, I said, you know what, Jace, I think I have more fun coaching than I do getting in the ring and doing it myself. When you start getting older, is, you know, maybe, you know, and a couple times it looks like I'm actually making a difference. That's also one thing that I kind of like, is that when I give advice or I kind of help out, like, you know, the kids appreciate it. And when a couple times they actually do what I tell them to do and I see that it's making them better, it makes me feel better. Kind of like it makes me feel like I win. I know what it's like to go to a gym full of people that want to beat you up sparring, to go into a fight. I know how it feels. I know how it feels to lose, how it feels to win. You know, and I kind of just, you know, I'm there with them. You know, say, hey man, you know, we can do this. You know, kind of like almost me giving back. Just like Wayne looked out for me, and my other trainers were looking out for me back when I was fighting. It's kind of what I want to do for them.
I appreciate you coming out. Thanks for the interview. This was awesome.
All right, man.
So
Appreciate
thank you.
it. Thank you. Thanks, Jace. Appreciate it, man.
Yep.
Hope I didn't miss nothing, did I?